Christmas morning in our little place outside Columbus always has the same rhythm. The heater clicks on and off. Somebody's always in the kitchen too early, acting like they're not nervous. And no matter how old you get, there's something about the smell of cinnamon rolls that makes you believe, for a second, that everyone can behave. My daughter, Lily, was already up before I even opened my eyes. 11 years old and still in that sweet spot where she's old enough to have opinions but young enough to think the world is mostly kind. She had on those red and green pajamas my mom insists on buying every year, the ones that never fit right but somehow become tradition. She sat cross-legged on the rug by the tree, her hair a mess, cheeks flushed from excitement, hands hovering like she was trying to control herself and failing. My parents showed up right after 9, like they always do, with too many bags and too much energy. My mom came in loud and cheerful, hugging Lily first, then me, and my dad followed behind with that quiet smile he uses when he wants credit for something without saying it. They acted like they were just stopping by for brunch, like they hadn't been planning something. I noticed the way my mom kept looking at the tree, like she was checking if a certain present was still there. Lily tore through a couple small gifts first, socks, a sketchbook, some cheap glitter pens. She thanked everyone politely, even when I could tell she didn't care. Then my mom slid a box across the floor that was way too expensive to be casual about. It wasn't wrapped like the rest. It had that neat, careful paper job, corners sharp, tape hidden. My dad cleared his throat like he was getting ready for a speech. "From us," my mom said, and she smiled so wide it looked almost painful. Lily froze, eyes going huge. She looked at me first, like she was checking if this was allowed. I gave her a small nod, because what else could I do? I wasn't going to ruin Christmas morning. Not for her. Not over something I didn't understand yet. She ripped the paper off and the box was right there, plain and sleek, the kind of box you see in ads. Lily gasped and then actually screamed, like a full-on happy scream, and my heart jumped with it. "No way. No way. Oh my God," she kept saying, like she couldn't find new words fast enough. "It's the new iPhone," my dad said, finally letting himself sound proud. Lily launched herself at them, arms around both my parents, and my mom laughed like she'd won something. She told Lily she deserved it, that she'd been so good this year, and my dad added that it was for school, too, because apparently everything needs a responsible excuse. I tried to smile in the right places. I really did. I told Lily it was a big gift and she needed to be careful with it, and she promised, nodding hard, already peeling the plastic off. She held it like it was made of glass and gold. My mom stood close, almost hovering, like she wanted to watch Lily's face when the screen came on. Lily pressed the side button and the Apple logo popped up. She squealed again. My mom clapped her hands once, too sharp, too excited for a grown woman. The phone finished booting up, and Lily started tapping around, setting it up the way kids do, fast, impatient, skipping the boring screens. She was trying to pick a passcode when her smile faded. It wasn't dramatic. It was like somebody turned the volume down inside her. She stared at the screen, blinked twice, then leaned closer like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Her fingers stopped moving. I saw her look up at my mom, then at my dad, then back at the phone. She swallowed. Lily didn't get quiet often. Not like that. "Mom," she said, and her voice wasn't excited anymore. It was small. What does this mean?" I stepped toward her without thinking. "What do you mean, honey?" She held the phone up to me, both hands, like she was handing me something heavy. "It's the picture," she said. "Why would they put this?" My mom's laugh died in her throat. My dad's smile didn't change, but his eyes did. And that's when I understood that whatever Lily was looking at, it wasn't an accident. I took the phone from Lily and tried to keep my face neutral, because my kid reads me like a book. She always has. I expected a random wallpaper, maybe some stock photo of a beach or a mountain. Something harmless. Something annoying, even. Not whatever this was. The screen showed an old photo, the kind you only get from a scan because nobody takes pictures like that anymore. A hospital room. Harsh lighting. A bed with a thin white blanket. And right in the middle, a woman holding a newborn. The woman wasn't me. It was my sister, Courtney. She looked younger in the picture, but I would know her face anywhere. Same sharp cheekbones, same dark eyes. She was smiling like she'd just survived something huge and had no idea what was coming next. The baby in her arms was wrapped tight, tiny pink hat, scrunched little face, and there was a name card on the bassinet in the background. Even with the blur, I could read enough. Lily. And under that, in black letters that made my stomach drop through the floor, Mother, Courtney M. My hands went cold so fast it scared me. My brain tried to argue with my eyes. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe the phone had some weird default image from a previous owner. But it was a new phone. Sealed. Bought and gifted by my parents. They had to have touched it first. They had to have chosen that picture. Lily watched my face like she was trying to solve a puzzle. Mom, she asked again. Why is Aunt Courtney holding a baby? Is that me? My mouth opened, and nothing came out. I could hear my mom in the background doing that fake busy thing, straightening paper, picking up ribbon, clearing space on the coffee table that didn't need clearing. My dad stood still, hands in his pockets, watching me like I was the one who'd done something wrong. I forced air into my lungs and smiled at Lily, the kind of smile that hurts your cheeks. Sweetie, go play with the cousins for a minute, I said. Just give me a second, okay? But. Please, I said softly, and she listened because she could tell the ground had shifted. She nodded and walked toward the hallway, slower than she normally would, glancing back once like she wasn't sure she should leave me alone with whatever she'd just handed me. As soon as Lily was out of earshot, I turned the phone toward my parents. Not like a weapon. Just like a fact. What is this? I asked. My mom's face tightened. She didn't answer right away. She kept fussing with the wrapping paper like if she made the pile neat enough, the moment would pass. My dad cleared his throat again. It's a picture, he said, like I was stupid. I know it's a picture, I said, my voice low. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I didn't throw the phone. I just kept my eyes on them and waited. Why is it on her phone? Why would you set that as the background? My mom finally looked at me, and there was something hard in her expression, something that wasn't love or pride or holiday cheer. It was the look she gets when she thinks she's being practical. She's old enough, my mom said. It was going to come out sooner or later. My skin prickled. Come out, I repeated, keeping my voice flat. My dad shifted his weight. We're not trying to hurt anyone, he said. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. It was just air and disbelief. You put a hospital photo on an 11-year-old's new phone. On Christmas morning. And you're telling me you weren't trying to hurt anyone. My mom's jaw worked like she was chewing on the right words. Your sister's been calling, she said. Again. She says she's tired of being the villain. She says she wants to be part of Lily's life. My heart kept beating, steady and loud, like it was the only thing in the room doing its job. I stared at the phone again, at Courtney's face, at that name card. My mind pulled up old memories I'd locked away on purpose, Courtney disappearing for months. My parents saying she was getting help. The sudden baby I came home with that everyone acted like was normal. The way my mom always insisted on being in the delivery room, the way she wouldn't let me talk about it too much afterward. I thought I'd buried those questions. I thought I'd chosen peace. My dad spoke quietly. We thought you'd tell her when the time was right. And you decided the time was right because Courtney wants something, I said. My mom's eyes flashed. Don't make it sound like that. What should I make it sound like? I asked, still calm, still controlled. Because from where I'm standing, it sounds like you just handed my daughter a truth you kept from her and used a phone to do it. My mom opened her mouth, then closed it. My dad looked away for half a second, and that was all the confirmation I needed. They had planned this. They had timed it. They wanted the reveal to happen in a room full of family, so I couldn't react the way I wanted to. So I'd be forced to act polite. I nodded once, slow. Okay, I said. My mom blinked. Okay. I set the phone down on the coffee table, screen facing down. Yeah, I said, and my voice stayed even. Okay. Let's do it your way. Then I turned and walked toward my bedroom like I was just going to grab a sweater, like my whole world hadn't just snapped in half. I didn't slam the door. I didn't announce anything. I didn't let them see panic. Because I wasn't going to give them the satisfaction of watching me fall apart in front of Lily. I was going to figure out what they'd done, why they'd done it, and how to stop it from touching my kid the way they clearly hoped it would. In my bedroom, the noise of the house became muffled, like somebody had put a pillow over the chaos. I sat on the edge of the bed and stared at the wall for a second, trying to keep my hands from shaking. The Christmas music still played out there, faint and cheerful, which felt almost insulting. I didn't let myself spiral. Not yet. First, I breathed. Then I grabbed my laptop from the dresser like it was something I'd been meaning to check anyway. My phone was on the nightstand, buzzing with a group chat notification I didn't open. I had learned a long time ago that if you want the truth, you don't ask people who benefit from lying. You look for things they can't edit. I logged into my email and typed Courtney's name into the search bar. A handful of messages popped up from years ago, half-finished apologies, late-night rambling paragraphs, the kind of stuff she'd send when she wanted sympathy but wasn't ready to change. I opened one, then another, skimming fast, my eyes hunting for anything that matched the image on Lily's phone. Then I searched my mom's name. Old receipts. Appointment reminders. Things I never cared about before. My throat tightened when I saw an email subject line that hit me like a slap, release of records, Franklin County. I clicked it. It wasn't dramatic paperwork with big red stamps or anything. It was plain. Boring. The kind of email you'd scroll past if you weren't looking for it. But attached was a PDF confirmation from a clinic, and in the body there was a line about authorized party and guardianship documents on file. Guardianship. I felt my stomach roll, but I kept going. I searched for court. I searched for petition. I searched for adoption, even though I told myself for years I never adopted Lily because she was mine. I was the only mother she knew. I was the one who woke up for fevers and school projects and nightmares and scraped knees. But paperwork doesn't care about love. More results showed up, scans of forms my mom had sent me, just to sign, years ago, when I was exhausted and sleep-deprived and trusting. I remembered sitting at my parents' kitchen table, Lily in a carrier, my mom sliding papers toward me with a pen like it was nothing. I'd asked what it was. She'd said it was, to make things easier. She'd said it was, just in case. She'd said Courtney needed space. I opened one of the scanned files and stared at my own signature on a line that said temporary legal guardian. Temporary. My head started buzzing. I clicked through more documents, my heart beating steady like it was keeping time for a disaster. There it was again in black and white, Courtney listed as biological mother. The father line blank. The dates matching the year Lily was born. My parents named as supporting parties. A note about Courtney entering treatment. A note about placement with maternal aunt, meaning me. The room felt too small suddenly. I stood up and paced once, then twice, like movement could keep me from falling apart. I kept thinking about Lily out there, laughing awkwardly with her cousins, holding a truth she didn't know how to carry. I thought about my parents setting that photo like a landmine and calling it time. I heard a knock at my door. "Sweetheart," my mom called softly through the wood. "Are you okay?" I didn't answer. The handle jiggled a little, like she wanted to come in, then stopped. My mom didn't like waiting. She didn't like not being in control. That alone told me I was doing the right thing by staying quiet. I sat back down and opened the photo app on my laptop, digging through folders I hadn't touched in forever. I found old Christmas pictures, school concerts, birthday cakes. I saw my own face through the years, smiling too hard, trying to build something stable out of a mess I never fully understood. Then I found it, an old picture from the day we brought Lily home. Not from the hospital. From my parents' house. My mom holding Lily, beaming. My dad behind her, proud. And me in the corner, eyes red, exhausted, still trying to figure out why Courtney wasn't there. I zoomed in on the background. On the counter behind us, a stack of papers. I could see the clinic logo now that I knew what to look for. It had been in my face the whole time. My chest ached, but the ache didn't turn into panic. It turned into something sharper. Because now I understood the game. Courtney wanted in. My parents wanted control. And the way they chose to do it was by ripping open the one thing I had kept simple for Lily, who her family was. I didn't care about being embarrassed. I didn't care about family gossip. I cared about my kid feeling safe. I cared about her not being used as leverage in some old argument between adults who never learned how to take responsibility. I opened a new note on my laptop and started writing down what I needed, dates, names, what documents I had, what I could prove. I made a list of questions I wanted answered and a list of things I would not allow. Then I looked at the clock. Almost 2 hours had passed since Lily opened that phone. My parents were probably thinking I was in here crying. They were probably telling themselves I'd calm down and fall back into line, like I placed her with me, I said. My mom nodded, as if she was proud. "You always wanted to be a mom," she said. "And you were the only one responsible enough." I stared at her. "Do you hear yourself? You're talking like I adopted a puppy." My mom's face hardened. "Don't get dramatic." "I'm not being dramatic," I said. "I'm being accurate. You handed me a newborn and told me a story. And you let me build my whole life around that story." My aunt whispered, "Oh my God," like she'd suddenly realized how deep it went. I took a breath. "I found the documents," I said. "Temporary guardianship. Court filings. Clinic confirmations. Courtney listed as the biological mother." My mom's lips parted. She looked genuinely shocked that I'd been smart enough to look. For a second, she looked scared. Then she recovered and went back to anger. "Those papers don't change anything," she snapped. "You're her mother." I nodded. "Yes," I said. "I am. In every way that matters to Lily." Which is exactly why you don't get to weaponize her birth story like it's some family argument you can win. My dad rubbed his forehead. "Courtney's been clean," he said. "She has a job now. She wants a relationship." I stared at him. "And this is how you thought to start? By putting a hospital photo on a kid's phone?" My dad didn't answer. My mom did. Lily deserves to know where she came from. She does, I agreed. But she deserves to hear it with love and care, not as a surprise shoved in her face because Courtney is bored and you're tired of keeping secrets. My mom's cheeks went red. You always talk like you're better than us. I shook my head slowly. No, I said. I talk like I'm tired. There's a difference. Then my dad said something that made the room tilt. She's coming today, he admitted. My chest tightened. What? My mom's eyes flicked away. We told her you'd be here, she said, like it was no big deal. Like she hadn't just set up a meeting between my child and a woman Lily thought of as an aunt. I swallowed hard. You invited Courtney to my home, I said, my voice quiet now, dangerous quiet. On Christmas. It's our family too, my mom said. Paula spoke for the first time, calm and clear. Not when it involves a minor child, she said. Not without the parents' consent. My mom glared at her. Who asked you? I looked at Paula and felt something in my chest loosen, just a little. Then I looked back at my parents. I'm going to say this once, I told them. Courtney does not talk to Lily today. Not like this. Not because you planned a little ambush. My mom's mouth twisted. You can't stop her. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. Yes, I said. I can. My dad looked at me like he finally saw the version of me he'd helped create, a woman who learned how to survive their mess. How? He asked, quiet. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone, the one with the contacts and the screenshots and the notes I'd made in the last 2 hours. Because I have the paperwork, I said. And I have proof you've been making decisions behind my back. And if Courtney thinks she's walking in here like she's entitled to my kid, she's about to learn what courts actually care about. My mom scoffed. You take your own family to court. I stared at her. You took me to court first, I said, and my voice stayed steady. You just didn't tell me. The front doorbell rang. Every head turned toward the hallway. My mom's eyes lit up like victory. My dad looked sick. Paula's hand moved to her phone. And I stood there, calm, because this part was exactly what I'd prepared for. The doorbell rang again, longer this time, like whoever was outside was already annoyed they had to wait. My mom started moving toward the front hall like she was on autopilot, like she was doing her duty. I stepped in front of her without touching her, just blocking the path. Don't, I said quietly. My mom tilted her chin up. She's Lily's mother. I held her gaze. I'm Lily's mother, I said. You're not doing this. My dad stood up, hands out like he wanted peace. Let's all calm down, he said, like calm was the issue. Paula's voice was gentle but firm. If you need to call someone, I'll call someone, she said to me. I nodded once. I didn't want cops in my living room on Christmas. I didn't want Lily to remember sirens. But I also wasn't going to let my parents roll over me again just because the calendar said family. The doorbell stopped. Then there was a knock, hard. 3 quick hits. My mom tried to slip around me. I moved again, still calm. Mom, I said, my voice low. If you open that door, you're telling Lily her feelings don't matter. You're telling her this is a game. My mom's eyes flashed with something like hate, or maybe it was fear. You're being cruel, she hissed. I almost laughed. Cruel. I said. You hid the truth for 11 years and decided Christmas morning was a good time to blow it up. Don't call me cruel for cleaning up the mess you made. My dad's shoulders slumped. We didn't know how else to do it, he said. That's a lie, I said softly. You knew. You just didn't want to. From the kitchen, I heard Lily's voice, small and shaky. Mom. That one word pulled me apart. I turned toward the kitchen doorway and saw her standing there, holding a paper plate with cookies she clearly wasn't going to eat. Her eyes were glossy. Her cheeks were pale. She looked like a kid who suddenly realized adults could ruin things. I walked to her slowly and crouched so we were eye level. Hey, I said, keeping my voice gentle. You didn't do anything wrong, okay? Her lower lip trembled. Is everyone mad at me? No, I said instantly. Never. This is grown-up stuff. And I'm handling it. She looked past me toward the front hall. Who's at the door? I paused. I didn't want to lie to her. Not anymore. Not after what my parents had pulled. It might be Aunt Courtney, I said carefully. But you don't have to see her today. Not unless you want to. And you can say no. You're allowed to say no. Lily's eyes widened. Why would she? Because adults make selfish choices sometimes, I said, and that hurt to say out loud. But I'm here. I'm not letting anyone push you. She stared at me like she was trying to hold on to something solid. Then she nodded, small and shaky. I don't want to, she whispered. Not like this. My chest tightened. Okay, I said. Then it's no. I stood up and turned back toward the hallway. The knocking started again, louder, impatient. My mom looked like she was about to explode. My dad looked like he might cry. I walked to the door, not opening it, and called through it, calm and clear. Courtney, go home. This is not happening today. There was a pause. Then a voice, muffled but sharp. Are you kidding me? After everything? After you stole my kid? My mom flinched like she'd been slapped. My dad stared at the floor. Paula moved closer to me, her phone in hand. I didn't yell back. I didn't give Courtney the drama she wanted. You can talk to a lawyer, I said through the door. You don't get to show up here and scare her. Not ever. Courtney laughed, bitter. You think you're her hero, she said. You're just the babysitter mom and dad hired. My mom snapped. That is not. I held up a hand to stop her. I wasn't letting her rewrite the moment again. Courtney, I said, still calm, if you care about Lily, you'll leave. If you don't, then you'll keep pounding on the door. And prove exactly why you're not ready. Silence. Then the front porch creaked. Footsteps. A car door. An engine turning over. The sound of tires on wet pavement. It was over. At least the immediate part. My mom sagged into the hallway chair like someone had unplugged her. My dad rubbed his eyes. For a second, nobody spoke. The Christmas music on the TV kept playing, bright and stupid, like it had no idea the day had changed. I turned around and saw Lily still standing by the kitchen doorway. Her eyes were full, but she wasn't crying. She looked older than she had that morning. I walked to her again and took her hand. You're safe, I said. She swallowed. Am I yours? She asked, and that question almost dropped me to my knees. I squeezed her hand tight. You are mine, I said. Not because paperwork says so. Because I'm the one who's been here every day. I'm the one who loves you the way you deserve. Lily nodded slowly, like she was choosing to believe me. Then she leaned into me, just a little, and I wrapped my arm around her shoulders. Behind us, my mom's voice came out small. You're going to destroy this family, she said. I looked at her over my shoulder. No, I said. I'm going to stop it from destroying my daughter. That was the line. The moment my parents finally understood they couldn't control the story anymore. They left not long after, in awkward silence, taking their coats and their pride and whatever version of themselves they needed to sleep at night. My dad tried to hug me at the door. I stepped back. I wasn't ready. Maybe I'd never be. After they were gone, the house felt different. Not empty, exactly. Just quiet in a way that made room for truth. That night, after Lily fell asleep, I sat at the kitchen table with a mug of cold tea and my laptop open again. I emailed a family lawyer. I printed the documents. I made a folder. I wasn't trying to punish anyone. I was trying to protect my kid from becoming a tug-of-war rope for adults who couldn't handle consequences. Christmas was still Christmas. Lily still got her cinnamon roll. She still watched a movie curled up in a blanket. But the day had a scar now. And scars don't mean you're broken. They mean something happened, and you lived through it. My family didn't blow up in one screaming match. It cracked, quietly, under the weight of what they'd hidden. And as painful as it was, I knew one thing for sure. If the truth was going to change our lives, then at least from this point on, the truth was going to be in my hands.